Good morning, everyone. It is the 15th of July, 2022, and it is also Friday. And I was I was YouTube banned. I had another strike because of a video that I released. So it's been over a week now, and hopefully this video gets to be uploaded, and I will try to behave a little more, but it's just frustrating because it's not like I'm misinforming anyone. It's just that this information people don't want to be out yet because we are very censored in Canada, especially. And so more people are leaving which is a shame because like, they were great Canadians, and now more people moving to Florida, including Viva Frey, who's from Montreal, and he went with his whole family to Florida, and I wish him well and everything, but it's just a shame that people like him, they leave when we can use them here, right? Like even in government or as advisors or along those lines. But it is what it is. I have like more notes from like crazy research that I've done in the last week and stuff that I wanted to talk about. And so unfortunately, because it's not like a daily thing that I was able to do, like I have to like kind of compile everything like in one kind of like video as short as I can make it, and just kind of touch on the points that I wanted to. And so yeah, for politics going on right now, we have for people that don't know that they're not from Canada, we have Liberal leadership in right now under a minority government, and it seems to be a little bit extreme depending on who you talk about within that political group or party. And then now we currently have conservatives and other groups that are holding internal elections to see who's going to be the head of their party. And because that's the person that if their party wins the elections at a federal level, then they're the ones that would be the leader of Canada too, right? So and so that's all going on right now in Canada, which is all interesting stuff. And I did predict, not me, but through gematria, possibly this could be a year where there's like a vote of non-confidence of a Liberal party, and then a takeover by conservative leadership. And so that could happen. I don't know how, with the whole NDP being aligned now with the Liberals, how that could happen, but we'll see. Again, I'm not like so invested in this that I think it's gonna 100% happen at all. And so if it happens or not, again, it's not going to impact my life at all. It would just be very interesting. The same thing with the predictions being made about Biden and Kamala Harris taking over if he passes away in office, just because of like the correlations between Herbert Hoover and his predictions and when he died and when she was born and all of these things, and yeah. But politics. I'm interested in politics because I have a political science degree, and so does our top health expert. And so I also have other degrees that are science-based that he doesn't have. And so I always wonder how people like that can, with such low qualification standards, I mean, how they get in and they get so much money. Like he's on the FDA committee. Like we've shared information about this before too. He's been given a ridiculous amount of money by Pfizer. Oh my goodness, and Omar too. And then I call out people like Teresa Tam and Marco Mendoncini and Omar again, like I was saying, Kieran Moore, Patty Hajdu, Jim Watson. Like I hope that at some point in the next few months, with everything that's coming out now, like just cannot be hidden anymore, that there's people that resign and possible jail time, because we need peaceful resignations and or accountability being held in order to get through what's already being done to our country and to the world. And even in the last few days with the Bank of Canada, they increased interest rates by 1%, which is significant. This also does not help us in the long term, like in the short term or the long term. And last year, like my example with that too, with the printing of the money and with also giving money for people to stay home and not work, that could have just the way we handled the whole pandemic was just not good at all. And I've talked about this before and went on so many rants. But again, like I don't know if people are aware of just like long term and medium term kind of ramifications for what they do, and just like how it's been done that way in other countries and other civilizations and other eras or times or even currently, and it just always seems to turn out the same way. Like, and so so I don't understand why we do things the way we do sometimes, and so yeah. But Pierre, he seems like a good leader, Polyev, and he does connect with and relate to Canadians more than others, and so it's just very interesting because even like I gave him a book over the Christmas holidays, and I put a little note into it, but it was from my friend, a book that he wrote that I loved. It's one of my favorite books, and I've read thousands of books, and it's called Dying to Live, by Jeff Watson. It's such a great book, and it's on Amazon and stuff like that too. But anyway, um, it's about the individual versus the collective and how we need to sort things out at an individual level, and only then, and then manage that circle, us first, and then our exterior world. Like build upon that, right, before we get to like bigger people, right? You can't skip steps. And so anyway, he like actually I just got a card from his office, and it was a handwritten note, and so I don't know if it was him or one of his staff. Either way, I really enjoyed like the letter and putting pen to paper and sending it to someone's home, and just to say thank you, and actually personalize it, right, saying that it's on his reading list. And so yeah, that's amazing. And so those things matter, right? When anyways, it matters. And so I'll just keep it at that. And oh my goodness, all my research again on like gematria and like dates and numerology and flat Earth versus like globe Earth in this multidimensional holographic reality that we're experiencing. It's all weird stuff. Like even I wanted to look at the full moon on the 13th or the 12th, wherever you're from and whatever you consider to be the full moon period, because even that is debatable. I wasn't able to see it because there was cloud coverage and stuff like that, which is unfortunate. But like I'm still under the impression that there's some kind of like that it's a self-illuminating object that is being reflected where we're seeing it, because it does look like it's like that it's not an object when I look at it with my own eyes. And anyways, yeah, and even the sun looks like that it's being reflected from something else. And I've said this before in other videos, but like when I do reflection stuff with crystal prisms and pyramids and globes and stuff like that, I get very different results, and it's just very interesting. The crystal or diamond type pyramids, or what is that other element? The other strong element, rhenium. Like these are all very durable elements, or whatever you want to call it. And so when I use that, like I see the same type of similar reflections, interestingly enough, like in certain areas of like wherever it's being reflected from, and depending on the color, if it's black or white surfaces. But like I see rainbows, I see sacred geometry, I see like so many different things, right? And so it does look to be similar to what I see in the sky when I do the comparison and pay attention to it. And then looking at the new moon versus the full moon, if we look at that even more and see that they even admit it, right, that it's a bunch of overlays put together, compiled together, CGI. Like like they never show you like a one solid picture, like snap pic of like the Earth or moon or any of the planets or any of that, right? And so everyone admits that. It's us that for some reason just assume it to be like a one snap picture, and we fight amongst ourselves even though we don't need to, right? Like we're being told it by so again, this is why also we need to pay more attention and get beyond our own stuff so that we can understand like these like simple complexities of life and stuff like that, and how there's possibly no coincidences. So the big concerning thing that I wanted to bring up more, but I wanted to like ease into it, is Dr. John Campbell. He's a he's a doctor. He is a certified doctor, and he was for many, many years, and he's taught a lot of nurses through his career, and his YouTube videos are, they're pretty good, but there's a lot of misinformation, and it's frustrating because he's not connecting the dots, right? And like he gets so close sometimes to his videos when like with the titles and stuff, and I'm like, oh, and then it's like, nope, he misses the mark again, right? And so even with these jabs, I'm not going to say the name of them, but showing that the data that has came out in the last few months shows that it like 4.6% of the people in that first group, the original trials, healthy demographic, 4.6% contracted through what was in the vials, right? And then a lot more people, once more people started getting inoculated in certain areas. There was more cases, right? There was also other things as well that were in other vials that were spreading other things and or irritating certain people, right? And we were still not aspirating needles, and we're not doing that still. And so there's a difference between intramuscular versus intravenously, and there is a correlation, and videos I've made earlier on that I can share again that I said between 1 in every 5,000 to 6,000 people that gets an injection, if it's not aspirated, the likelihood of it being an intravenous versus an intramuscular delivery, that's the stats. Like 1 in every 5,000 to 6,000 people, it will be intravenously, because it's a large needle too, and because again, smaller arms, more vessels that can be hit. There's so many factors, right? And this is where we need to kind of go back to the drawing board and admit that that these are things that were trained before in the past and still are in some countries, but that the World Health Organization and other organizations, CDC included, they took that out of the training, and that was step 2, right? And so why do I know that? But nurses and doctors that I share this information to with clinical peer-reviewed scientific and medical data from years ago, even, that I'm giving them longitudinal studies, and they're not looking at it and calling me crazy and a conspiracy theorist and a racist somehow. I don't even know how that connects, but whatever, okay. Anyway, so Dr. John Campbell in the last few days, he's talking about these excess deaths that are happening now in the UK, upwards of 1,300 people a week, and they don't know how or why, and this is SADS. And I don't want to get this video removed, but this is a reality, and he was even saying it himself, and he's again someone that's pro jab, pro all these other things, but not understanding just the ramifications of that. Fairly obvious, the concerns that I bring up with the spreading of it and other things, and with or getting silicone or getting other, and again, and not aspirating, and then these excess deaths that we're not associating with or correlating with these, right? Or with the mandates, and so acute conditions becoming chronic, and people using over-the-counter treatments that have harmful ingredients in them that they don't realize, that causes fertility issues or IBS or cognitive issues, and so yeah, we living in a little bit more discomfort with illness or disease, and trying to get past it in a more healthy, organic way. I am a firm believer and proponent of that. And so it's upwards between 60 and 20% excess deaths in countries where these jabs are at higher rates. And there's experts that on either side that are admitting this, right? So this is not one side, or these are all sides that are admitting this, and it's only in the last few weeks that they're noticing this trend, and the low birth rates in countries again where the jab is at a higher rate, and again, even treating COVID with Paxlovid, which even Fauci and Jimmy Dore and so many others were treated with, even experts agree and fully admit as well that 100% of people will contract the disease when given this, right? And so why are we doing that? And then still, there's so many issues that we need to address, and I would love to be on a panel in Canada to discuss this. But again, I'm giving this information to so many different people: Public Health Ontario, Ottawa. I'm giving it to law enforcement. I'm giving it to military. I'm giving it to multiple levels of government, and links and actual information that they can consider. And still, it's been 2.5 years. I've got nothing back yet, not even one response. And I can share with you screenshots of my sent messages and what I sent them, and it's frustrating because it's not even responding back, not even taking a moment to respond back, right? And so but yeah, so all of these issues that are going to be increasing. And we just need to be prepared for it and stop lying to people and stop pushing narratives that are harmful, and just being so just so oblivious to it, or just so stuck in your own stuff that you're not realizing that you need to stop. And stopping is actually a lot more beneficial than continuing on. And yeah, on that note, I hope that everyone has a wonderful day. I'm going to start trying to be a little bit more regular with these videos again. And if anyone has any recommendations, let me know. And yeah. Talk soon.